Ben, I guess just kind of what was your overall impressions of the summer? Are there any maybe standouts, guys that maybe made a particular impression on you this summer?
I think we had a really good summer. I think it was imperative that we made it really competition emphasis, right? We got a lot of spots that of guys coming back, but we added a lot of good talent from the portal and with a good recruiting class. So competition was huge, and then I think our leadership really took a big stride. I really do. I think that's kind of where we lacked a little bit in the past. But I think that with the consistent effort that our guys poured in all summer, I couldn't be more thankful for them. Had a really great summer. Really pleased where we're at, and now we're gonna roll the ball out and see what happens. To name certain guys, it would be hard. I'm very impressed with our older guys. Some of them got mileage on them, and but your guys like Landon Jackson, Fernando Carmona, Jane Johnson, Hudson Clark, Andrew Armstrong, Tashawn Green. I mean, I can go down the list. I mean, I'll say this. This is one of the best summers I've ever been a part of in my 16 years of coaching. And that's just because our young men came to work every single day. We never had a bad day. I can think of 2 incidences, over 40 workouts. And if you can only think of 2, and that's being pretty picky, then we're doing pretty good. But a lot of, like I said, it's hard to name just a few, right? I mean, but our older guys really stepped up. I mean, our whole D line, I can't wait to see them play. I know they got some pub last year on the front end, but Cam Ball, Eric Gregory, unbelievable. Kiwi Rose. I mean, I can go on and on. Our O line. I mean, just really pleased where we're at. Now we got to go play some ball.
I want to ask you about one of those younger guys on the D line, Ian Jaffrard. The roster has him listed at 391. Is that accurate? And just kind of, have you ever had anybody that big? How's he move? Kind of what strides did he make in the weight room? Because I know sometimes weight doesn't tell the whole story.
Yeah. Ian was 391. He's down to about 382 right now. So he's lost some weight, especially in the last 2 weeks. He's been great. There's been about 6 or 7 guys I won't mention, but basically had 2 a day all summer long, and he's one of them. He's a big guy, but he's not fat. I mean, you're looking at a dude that's, like I said, 380 pounds, and he's got 25% body fat, or 26, whatever it is. So you're saying 75% of his body's muscle. That's a lot of muscle, right? So he's strong, he's powerful, and I look for him to really make some strides here in camp, and excited to see what he does.
Who's the biggest freak on this team? Weight room.
I mean, to be honest, Landon Jackson's had a really good summer. I mean, you talk about a dude that broad jumps over 10 feet. I think he's a 10.2 or 10.3 broad jump at 280 pounds. Clean 345, squatted 515. He's almost 6'7". So verticals mid 30s. I mean, you're talking about a D lineman. He does those numbers and puts up success on the field, and he's gonna get invited to the combine, and we're gonna make himself a lot of money.
Wanted to ask you about Jaquindon Jackson. Coach Pittman was talking about how he's kind of the perfect fit for what they're wanting to do in a very physical rushing attack. I felt like he was also talking very mentally. And what can you tell us about, I guess, how he approaches every day?
He has been very steady. I know what we do and what he did at Utah is different, and he's told me that. But I'm really excited for him because I'll be honest, he elevates the level of play. For most of y'all that were here in spring, you saw a glimpse, but him on the field, man, he's a catalyst for us. I mean, guys respond to him. He's got that confidence that confidence that just shows, and it elevates everybody around him. So we're going to definitely need that. This is the toughest league in football, right? We all know SEC is grown man football. It's the NFL, college football. And, you're not always going to be at your best. So guys like that, when you're right there and it's crunch time, it's guys like that's going to help you get over it. But been very excited to have him part of our program. He's been nothing but great, phenomenal effort. Got faster. You're looking at a guy that ended up hitting 21 with his miles per hour. He's like 235, so he's going to be a bruiser, as well as got some speed to him. So we're really excited.
I want to ask you about the offensive front. Sam kind of identified that as a position that needed to get bigger and stronger after late last year. Your thoughts about that group?
Yeah, I think we made tremendous strides with O-line. We're definitely stronger as a whole unit and as a football team. We got numbers to prove it, but you guys know at the end of the day, the weight room only gets you so far, right? You got to take what you did and what you made, and you got to put it on the field. And the biggest thing I could say is we challenged them both physically and mentally. We got them stronger, but I tell them all the time, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. So my job is to put them in adverse situations and see can you accomplish what we're asking you to accomplish. And so we made it very tough on them this summer. It was tougher than what we did last summer. Off season was tougher than what it was last off season, and we're stronger. So now we got to take what we've done and apply it to the field. But I mean, all our numbers are up. Coach Pittman and Coach Mateos up front, phenomenal job. I mean, to have those guys in our program and coach these guys every single day only makes us better. Did a great job getting out of the portal. You're talking about Blackstock, Carmona, Nichols, who else out of the portal, O-line wise? Joe Moore, right? It's gotten a lot better. I mean, so they're strong, they're powerful, and to be honest, they're good athletes. And if you're strong and powerful and you're a good athlete up front, you should have success. So
your thoughts on Tashawn Green and his leadership that you maybe saw in the weight room?
Unbelievable. I have the utmost respect for Talon. His ability to come in and just lead by example without being too vocal and trying to grab guys' respect by just working the first couple of weeks when we were here, told me everything I need to know about the guy. He didn't come in barking orders. He was coming in to show the guys, I'm here to work and I'm just going to do everything just like you are. But what he does is he elevates everybody around him, and that's what leaders do. They bring mediocre people and elevate them and make them good people. He takes the good and he makes them great, and that's a true sign of a leader. And he's been phenomenal. I've never seen him have a bad day. I've never seen him ask for us to do something different for him in the weight room. He's first class. Excited to see what he does and Coach Patrino does with our offense moving forward, along with other quarterbacks. The quarterbacks have had a great summer as well. So,
Man, I'm always curious about those catapult vests, whatever you call them. Who are the fastest mile per hour guys on the team?
well, I think last year we had 4 guys that I told y'all that ran 22, I believe. I think we're up to 11. Some of that's obviously recruiting, right? Some of that is development as well. Like I said, we brought really good guys in from the portal. But I think we have 11 guys that can run 22, so we doubled that number from last year. You're talking about Broden can run. Andrew Armstrong can run. Let's see, TJ Metcalf. I know Coach mentioned that to you guys. Some other guys hitting 22. Danico Slaughter hit 22 multiple times this summer. Let's see, who else? 22. You got Desmond James, another wideout, 22.49. Tyrone Broden, 22.56. Jordan Anthony, 22. He's starting to now finally get healthy going into camp, so we're looking forward to having him. He's a world-class speed guy. Tashawn Green hit 22. We got several can. That's just to mention some that I have right here in front of me. But all in all, just some quick numbers from our GPS. I think 23 of 59 guys that we have catapults on can run 21. So that's roughly close to 40%. 40, the biggest jump that we've had, 40 of the 59 guys can run 20 or higher. So the tight ends can now run in the 20s. The linebackers can run in the 20s. We got some that can run in Sorey. Sorey's a 21.6, 21.7 miles per hour at linebacker at 200, almost 30 pounds. So 68% of our team can run 20 or higher. So that's close to 70. So 3/4 of your team, that's doing something. But once again, all this is good and great. Information's awesome, but we got to roll out and got to roll the ball and play some ball.
You already talked about him as a leader. What was kind of the focus in the weight room for Tashawn Green? I mean, I imagine he's going to be a part of the run game, you know, a little bit with his athleticism. Are there any like big focuses for him in his offseason development?
I think number one, we had to add a little bit of weight on him. He's a dual threat quarterback, and as you guys know in this league, it's the best of the best. So defenses are going to come at you, so you got to be durable. So I think adding a little bit of weight, adding a little bit of size, and then obviously continue to get him stronger. Not that he wasn't. I just think in this league, you got to put a premium on those things, as well as continue to make him explosive and fast, which is more in his wheelhouse naturally. But I think obviously flexibility, mobility, taking care of his arm, right? Throwing a lot. We've thrown more this year than we have in the past. Guys have spent more time together, doing 7-on-7s, offense throwing on their own. So obviously just taking care of the body, obviously rotational power, all that type of stuff. So that would probably be the main focus with him.
And just any freshmen who just have wowed right away since they've walked on campus?
Well, of course, I think everybody knows all the ones from the spring, right? But I think, this cycle for summer, Bradley Shaw is he's a different beast. I mean, he's everything that we thought he was and more. He can run. He can freaking. He's explosive. He's powerful. He loves to compete. Wyatt Simmons, another guy. Wyatt Simmons has put on, I think, 14 or 15 pounds this summer. Arkansas kid. Done a fantastic job. Cross Johnson, Zach Taylor, receivers. They've done a really, really nice job of getting stronger, and they'll continue to get stronger as the season goes on. Because we got 8.5 weeks with them, so it's a taste, but you still need more, right? From a development standpoint. But I think they've done a good job. I think Jonas Nance, local kid here, he's put on 10 or 12 pounds this summer. I think he'll have a chance on down the line. He's done a really nice job, but just really, really fortunate. We got a really great group of guys. We really do. I mean, it's fun to go to work every day. Really is.
Going back to the offensive line, Fernando Carmona making the jump from the Mountain West. When he walked on campus, did he look the part of an SEC offensive lineman already, and just kind of how has he evolved since you've worked with him the last several months?
I'll tell you one story. This will sum everything up. Yes, he looked the part. Do I think he could get a little bit bigger? Yeah, I think he needed to add a little bit of size on, which he has. But I think it was the third week of off season in February. We were running sprints. Skilled guys were having trouble making his time, and he challenged them. And one of them challenged him to come down there and run, and he ran and made their time the rest of the time. So that tells you all you need to know about him. He's gonna lead from the front.
And also, this is a little bit of an off the wall question, but with the EA Sports video game that came out this summer, did you notice any of the guys maybe talking about their certain speed ratings or something like that? Maybe kind of a source of inspiration or something to drive them this summer. Is that something you ever caught on to during your workouts or anything like that?
To be honest, not really. I mean, I hear them chatter because they chat about everything, and they're competitive, which I love. Like that, you got to be competitive to play at this level. More or less, them just playing on the game. I wouldn't say overall their own profile. Just more or less who's smashing who, and from one-on-one matchups and that type of stuff. So,
Larry Worth had over 40-inch vertical, 10.9 broad jump, put up big numbers in the bench and squat. What are your thoughts about the summer that he had?
he's a freak. Got to find a spot for him. I mean, he can run. excited to see his opportunity during camp. But he's a very versatile player in my opinion. I think he could do a lot of different things. He moves well. He's explosive. He's powerful on his film. When we watched him as a coaching staff, he'd strike and hit you. So I think it's still to be determined, right? Because he wasn't here with us during the spring. So seeing all the stuff that he's gotten better at and taking it to the field and see, okay, where can we find a spot for him? But very, very competitive. Like I said, kudos to Coach Pittman, our whole coaching staff. I mean, we did not miss on one player in the portal. And I'll say it again, we did not miss with one kid in the portal from adding to our program, making our program better, making it competitive, guys that play with passion, guys that hold each other accountable. That's what we missed last year, and I ain't gonna talk about last year because it's a whole new year, but it's different. You walk in the building, you can tell it's different. You talk to our coaches, you can tell it's different. Our offensive guys are excited to play for Coach Patrino and the offensive staff. Our defensive guys are excited to see the difference that they made last year with Coach Williams and his staff. And obviously year 2 should be better than year 1, right? So, I mean, there's so much energy and a buzz around that you can feel it in the air.
I'll ask you about another portal guy. Coach Pittman was saying that Anthony Switzer could line up at linebacker. He could be the nickel. He could be a safety. Obviously, you got to check a lot of boxes to fill all those kind of roles. What did you see from him this offseason?
I think the biggest thing for him is his consistency. I think he came in and just worked every day. Once again, change is hard, right? I mean, when you go from a program that you spend a couple of years in, then you come here to play, change is hard. But I thought he did a great job of merging the gap when he got here and just was very, very consistent. Once again, another very, very competitive guy. And you're right, he can play multiple positions. He's versatile as well. And he can move, man. He moves deceivingly well. And that's one thing I would say that he shot me with. He moves better than what I thought he did from a lateral standpoint. And excited to see him go out there and compete and help us win games.
Yeah, Sam said that he feels like you've made this the toughest summer. You said that it's been the toughest summer. What have you done differently?
A lot of things. I've challenged them. I'll tell you the biggest thing is I've tried to love on them more. To be honest, it's an honor to serve these guys. You spend so much time on them, and we're all so focused about wins and losses, but we don't realize what it takes to actually get it. Everybody hears the process or whatever it may be. I tell our guys all the time, if we're going to win at a high level, we have to win off the field at a high level. You have to become a better person. And I know we're going in that direction, and the wins are going to come. They're going to. I'm very confident. It's a different group. You can feel it. But we got guys that are fathers now. You know what I mean? We got guys that are getting engaged, guys that are getting married, guys that are going to church, guys getting baptized, guys leading Bible studies. That's the measure of the program I want to be known by. You know what I mean? Like all these numbers, that's good and great, but I'm confident in what our strength staff can do and what we're going to do to develop them. But at the end of the day, my number one job is to make them better people. And if I make them better people, we're going to become better players, better athletes. But going back to your question, everything. We ran more, we lifted more, we lifted heavier, we did more explosive stuff, we did it more consistently. We did things that probably redlined them at times, but we got to see who we can go to war with. That's what I used a lot in the offseason. Like, yeah, it's going to be tough. Your body's going to be broke down, but who's not going to surrender? And those are the guys we got to lean on that can pull the other guys that have been in that gray area. And so to answer that, I think everything. We run 3 or 4 days a week in the heat, 3:30, 4 o'clock every day. You know, I think a lot of people run, but some of them run in the morning. We don't. We run in the heat every day. Why? Because it's tough. Then we run on turf. Why do we run on turf? It's an extra 8 to 10 degrees, 12 degrees hotter, depending on the day. So like just little things like that to me is the mental edge that you have to build, all right, to get through hard stuff. And if I don't make it hard, when we get through hard stuff, we're gonna fold. We're gonna fold. So I would say everything.
Y'all added one of the more unique pieces in college football with Monty Harrison. You know, he's, I think, 28-year-old freshman. What does he bring to the table? What has he added, you know, maybe off the field that maybe could help y'all being a guy that's, you know, played at the professional level in a different sport?
Monty brings a calmness. You know what I mean? When all things seem chaotic or all things seem hard, he has this quiet calmness, and it rubs off into the younger guys. As you guys know, imagine being an 18-year-old kid and you're coming out to play in an SEC program, how much anxiety you have, right? What he's done this summer is he's bring a calmness, confidence. He's also brought a maturity, you know. I think his experience in the professional level, even though another sport, is really rubbed off on some of our younger guys that is going to help expedite the process for them. Instead of growing pains earlier on, we kind of get through those growing pains a little earlier. But he's done a phenomenal job. No excuses, come into work. You know, our training's a little different than Major League Baseball, you know, but he's done a phenomenal job. I'm excited that he's part of our program.
Coach, SEC Media picked you guys 14th. Has that created any more buzz in the weight room in the last couple of weeks?
I mean, we're gonna have a chip on our shoulder, you know. That's who I am. That's how I coach, and you are who you surround yourself with. So we're gonna have a little chip on our shoulder. But to be honest, we can't really worry about that. You know, the only way to change it is to win. You know, I think we used a little bit of that last year. It'd be the last time I talk about last year. But to be honest, hindsight, all we got to do is worry about us. If we worry about us, we'll take care of the rest. But we got a hungry group. They want to win. They want to win at a high level, and they've challenged each other. They've held each other accountable, which we've done a much better job this year of doing it, not just from the coaches, but from the players.
Coach, you mentioned Coach Patrino and the excitement that you've seen in the players. Just could elaborate on that, and then the feeling that you get from working with Coach Patrino and any significance to how the players are when he's in the room.
Number one, it's probably one of I've been fortunate to be around a lot of good coaches in my career. I really have, but you could tell when he walked in the room from day one, there was instant respect. Our guys had instant respect. As you guys know, you can get on your phone, you can get on the computer, Google, whatever. Some of these guys, you know, were very, very young when he was coaching and had success here. But it don't take but 15 seconds to pull him up. Look at his track record, right? So, number one, I think the instant respect that each person had for him, not just offensively, but defensively too now. But there's a calmness and confidence to him. He's organized, he's detailed, he's demanding, but not demeaningful. Sense of urgency, very, very detailed. And I would say the biggest thing is he is a great teacher. And he has developed every player he's ever coached. He's developed. And I think other than maybe 1 year at Louisville, he's always won wherever he's been. And I know he's excited to get back and show, you know, Razorback Nation. He's excited to be back, and he's ready to get a bad taste out of his mouth. But Coach Patrino's been phenomenal to me, been very, very respectful. You know, he asked me questions. I ask him questions. We have great feedback. But you can just tell when the guys hit the field, it's different. And I don't know how to really explain it other than the few things that I mentioned, but it's different. And you can tell that. and the sense of urgency is different. And excited to see what he does for our program this year.
Coach, appreciate you.
Thank you.